Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Wyld. Today we are talking about the major problem with delivery codes on Grubhub. So one of the major conversation points around Grubhub is in regards to their delivery code system. And while some are satisfied with the system or more like unbothered, there is a major problem with the execution of this system. While it can be argued that the system is actually much better than most of the other platforms that utilize a similar system, there's an overall security issue that I think it will lead to more harm than good if it isn't properly addressed. So in this video, we are talking about the major problem with delivery codes on Grubhub, what they tell you versus how it actually is, and everything in between. But before we do that, let's go over a quick disclaimer. The content of this video does not contain and is never intended to be legal, business, financial, tax, or health advice of any kind. This video is for entertainment, educational, and informational purposes only. It is advised that you conduct your own research and consult with qualified professionals before applying anything you find online. I also want to be clear that everything that we're going to be going over is very market to market and case by case. What applies to me in my market may not apply to you. So with that said, let's get started. What are Grubhub delivery codes? Delivery codes on Grubhub are given to customers when a customer is required to provide a number upon delivery to receive the order. This is similar to DoorDash PIN numbers or PIN numbers on Uber Eats or Walmart Spark. Plenty of apps are currently doing this. And if the driver does not get that code, they cannot continue delivering for the night. And customers have to prove that they are the proper recipient of that order. It's a way for platforms to increase the security between stealing drivers and scamming customers. And in any case, I made a full breakdown on this subject specifically already. So make sure to check that video out. What makes delivery codes different? This is not unheard of on platforms. It is something being adopted on every platform to a certain extent. However, Grubhub codes are different in a few different ways. 2 random digits. Each time Grubhub assigns a code to an order, the numbers are completely random and it's only 2 digits. It's higher security, it's mildly more annoying, and only made worse when a school teacher gets 67 as their number. I am not joking, that actually happened. It was hilarious. Available for contactless delivery. This is the most nonsense thing in my opinion. Why even have a delivery code system if you're going to make it available to somebody who wants contactless delivery? If they have a code, they either set it themselves or you just don't trust them yet. So why make it available at all? It just makes no sense for a security feature that only works if you have contact with the customer to be available, or impose the feature upon a customer with a feature that supports contactless service. The workaround. In the event that the customer cannot find the code or you can't get in touch with the customer, that's fine because you could just hit there's a problem and proceed to a contactless delivery sequence from there. Take the picture, walk off. That's great if a customer doesn't understand the app or is just not answering the phone. But if you could bypass that code so easily, what's the point of the security feature? Why have a security feature with an easy to unlock failsafe? Then I started to experience something firsthand with my customers, kind of understood it. The delivery code glitch. Recently, I've been noticing that some of my customers have been imposed a delivery code, but it just isn't available in the app. And while I was able to help some customers in the past find this code, I can also confirm that they just weren't receiving it in the app, which thank God that workaround exists for that reason, because it just means that the work I have been required to do can still happen without needing to contact support. And honestly, the less they are required, the better. But nevertheless, I am concerned that this is going to lead to other problems where some opportunistic people can claim they never got their order. Meanwhile, they just never got the code. And that leads to a violation upon the driver. Now, that hasn't happened to me yet, and Grubhub seems to be a bit better at regulating stuff, like wait lists and making sure they're keeping the right people. But then again, they are also the least active app in my market in terms of the big 3. So I wonder how this would be regulated in a busier market. The catch-22. Honestly, I was thinking for a while on how I would fix this. Like, how would Joe go into Grubhub and fix this himself. Obviously, I would love to see the code come through 100% of the time, but how do you compensate for that in the meantime? And what if it does happen again? Because I understand these tech uploads and changes and updates can take some time, especially when you need to identify the problem. But if you remove the workaround, you risk more friction. But if you don't remove it, you're not adding friction to scammers either. So you could either add more support agents to compensate for the loss, but then that's going to cost more as well. So the question then becomes, which will cost you more? The cost of the thefts of orders that are not being delivered, or the people you hire to compensate for the technological difference? Let me know what you guys think. How would you solve this problem without just saying, oh, just make sure the code comes through every time? Because I am curious on what you guys would think. Final thoughts. Honestly, this is not really that big of a deal. Sure, there are some customers who are generally more annoyed at the prospect of having a code at all, but it isn't something worth being too uppity about, to be honest. I understand when an app has been bought out, they are prioritizing other things rather than tech overhauls, but I guess they did add a decent workaround in the meantime, and I'm glad that I had a chance to put it out there for drivers who may end up confused in the moment. If anything, it kind of represents what a difference in management can really do for the company. Because from what I heard when Just Eat Takeaway took over Grubhub the first time, it was not a positive experience. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe. Check out my website, drivenwyld.com, if you'd like to learn more about the services and gig platforms we have talked about in the past and are offering to gig workers today. And if you would like to stay on the cutting edge of what's happening in the gig economy today and be in the know of what most people are talking about, make sure to check out our new channel, the Gone Wild Live Clips and Podcast, where we take the live streams we hold on Thursdays at 9 p.m., cut them down to more digestible clips, and have them posted there. Also, check out my Patreon for more exclusive clips, full-length live stream replays, and other membership perks for self-employed individuals who want to grow and scale their business. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching.